Is Rayman 2 a bizarre fever dream about a limbless hero rescuing sentient sushi, or a stone-cold classic worthy of the same platinum pedestal that holds Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie? Both, obviously. The game is equal parts dolly doodle and textbook 3D platformer perfection. Underrated, only if you've never watched a speedrunner fling Rayman backward through the sanctuary of stone and fire in under 4 minutes. Overrated? Ask the lone 1999 critic who still believed everything outside polygonal Italy should be side-scrolling. Fundamental? Without it, Ubisoft might never have green-lit Beyond Good and Evil, Michel Ancel's next act, or perfected the collectathon with cinematic swagger formula that later fed Prince of Persia. The Sands of Time. Disposable? Tell that to the Dreamcast diehard who still calls the robo-pirates their Roman Empire. In short, The Great Escape is the rare adventure whose absurdity, floating fists, snake-charming Lums, a villain who swigs plum brandy from a golden goblet, only amplifies its standing as a genre keystone. Yes, we'll talk about that screaming missile ride, because shared trauma is the best icebreaker. Historical context. Ubisoft Montpellier started sculpting Rayman's leap into 3D scarcely a year after the first game's hand-drawn sprites dazzled critics in 1995. Michel Ancel's team prototyped on the Jaguar and later the Nintendo 64, chasing a camera system fluid enough to keep Rayman's disembodied parts readable mid-spin. When the dust settled, both the N64 and Windows builds launched simultaneously in Europe on 29th of October 1999. Across the Atlantic, the PC version arrived for November, 5 days before the N64 cartridge hit US shelves. Ports multiplied faster than yellow Lums. Dreamcast, March 2000. PlayStation, September 2000. And PlayStation 2, January 2001, with the subtitle Revolution and some extra geometry. Official tallies place lifetime sales at a little above 1 million by the mid-2000s. Respectable, if not plumber money, and plenty for Ubisoft to brag that Europe can produce Mario caliber mascots. Personally, I first met Rayman in a mall electronics section demo during 1999's Pumpkin Spice Month, back when CRTs were caged behind plexiglass, and clerks reset kiosks hourly to prevent save file feuds. Two visuals stuck: Rayman helicopter gliding over emerald canyons while a robo-parrot shrieked "Beware the claw!" and a hulking stone golem whacking a pirate airship with a tree trunk like overdue rent. That night I convinced my dad, under the noble banner of edutainment, don't judge, to order the PC edition from EB World. UPS delivered. My 400 MHz Pentium 2 delivered me into digital nirvana. Zoom out, and 3D platformers in 1999 sat at an awkward but fertile crossroads. Mario 64, 1996, had defined the camera. Banjo-Tooie was busy stuffing worlds so full of doodads they risked becoming Lego spills. Sega's Dreamcast desperately needed a mascot miracle, and PC purists still claimed true platformers belonged on consoles. Rayman 2 elbowed in by doubling down on cinematic zip, fully voiced cutscenes, dynamic lighting that danced across puddles, and a score whose Celtic-techno fusion felt half Enya, half club remix. The art team hand-painted textures that pop like stained glass, giving each cliff face the vibe of a French children's book gone neon. Mechanics. A limbless Swiss Army mascot. Rayman plays like the platonic ideal of late 90s platform heroes. Double jump morphs into helicopter glide, fists shoot homing energy orbs, and shoulder buttons let you circle strafe like a cartoon Doom Marine. Most iconic, of course, is the throw and return punch. Hold to charge, release, and watch that free-floating fist arc around corners before zipping home. Ever wondered how he climbs ladders with no arms? Shh, accept the cartoon logic and move on. Movement speed splits the difference between Mario's Trackstar Sprint and Spyro's Air Brake Float. A gentle auto-aim spares you clunky Z-trigger fiddling, and the camera, platforming's perennial frenemy, behaves thanks to generous pullbacks and scripted pans. Yes, it occasionally whips like a carnival ride in tight corridors, but rarely enough to derail a run. Lums, cages, and the 4 masks. 1,000 yellow Lums flutter across the campaign, representing shattered world energy. Snagging all of them sets completionists aglow, and on the PS2 Rayman Revolution port unlocks an art gallery hub. The other versions simply flash that coveted 100% badge in your save file. More mission critical are the fairy cages. Break them to upgrade Rayman's firepower, or earn silver Lums that grant temporary powers like super helicopter or subaquatic lung capacity. Collect all 4 ancient masks, and you awaken Polokus, the cosmic frog ancestor whose yawn alone can reduce Admiral Razorbeard's robo-fleet to recyclable scrap. Robo-pirates, stormtroopers with peg legs. Enemies arrive in clockwork cohorts. Scrawny foot soldiers brandish shoulder cannons, bulkier guards lug flamethrowers, and lumbering walkers sweep floodlights like discount ATSTs. Lock-on lets Rayman orbit these brutes Mega Man style, peppering weak spots between dodge salvos. Boss fights escalate. A robo-spider you bait across collapsing bridges. An underwater chase drafting bubble trails behind Carmen the whale. And later, a walking shell rocket ride that makes Donkey Kong Country's minecarts feel like kiddie coasters. Finale, a duel aboard Razorbeard's warship where cannon shocks sink to orchestral timpani hammered by Michael Bay. Disneyland on lucid dream acid. Each portal from the hub glade drops you into a themed realm. The woods of light glimmer with bioluminescent vines. The marshes of awakening swap platforms for hover lily pads. The iron red sanctuary of lava yo-yos, you between magma chutes and waterlogged caverns in the same breath. Ubisoft's level designers followed a one gimmick, no filler mantra. Rocket straddling for 5 minutes. Plum paddling across lava for another. Keg surfing down cyclonic waterfalls next. Then discard before staleness sets in. The pace is a cereal aisle sugar rush. Hyper, colorful, and somehow curated, PC perks and quirks. Unlike many 90s console to PC ports, the Windows version wasn't an afterthought. Built on the same high-resolution artwork as Dreamcast, it replaces the N64's compressed textures with crisp detail and restores the fully orchestrated audio mix. Mouse and keyboard works fine, space to punch, arrow keys to move, but a Sidewinder pad turns the experience velvety. Push the draw distance slider and Lums sparkle half a stage away. Vital recon for 100% hunters. Caveat Alt-Tab during a pre-rendered cutscene and 1999 DirectX may implode, so save often. Legacy and influence. Commercially, that little over $1 million haul seated Rayman alongside Crash and Spyro in the second tier of mascot fame. Below Mario, but well ahead of dozens of forgotten also-rans. Critically, Metacritic's 90+ average ranks Rayman 2 among the best platformers not stamped with a plumber's cap. Mechanically, its DNA infiltrates almost every Ubisoft 3D action title that followed. The collect doodads, unlock doors, loop resurfaces as Assassin's Creed feathers, Watch Dogs tech points, Far Cry relic hunts. The gyro disc lock-on in Beyond Good and Evil echoes Rayman's energy shots. The scripted panoramic camera pans in Prince of Persia trace back to Rayman 2's canyon reveals, and Ansel's near-obsessive micro-animation, the way NPCs eye Rayman as he scampers by, became studio dogma. Culturally, Rayman 2 proved European platformers could match Japanese Polish without imitating its tropes. No spin dashes, no Italian plumbing, no gloves and shoes body plan, just a floating torso and an anything goes art bible. Ansel later joked that Nintendo devs cornered him at E3 2001 to quiz him on camera tech long before Mario Sunshine hit public demos. Whether or not you buy that anecdote, the cross-pollination feels obvious once you play both titles back to back. Why isn't Rayman 2 invoked as often as Mario 64? Timing and platform sprawl. It straddled 2 console generations and 4 hardware specs, fracturing nostalgia across clicks. Its direct sequel, Rayman 3, leaned edgy and snarky, muddying brand identity until Ubisoft revived 2D glory with Rayman Origins/Legends. Yet fire up a Games Done Quick stream and you'll still catch Rayman 2 races. Proof that its fluid movement and generous physics withstand today's 144Hz scrutiny. Closing paragraph plus score. Reinstall Rayman 2 in 2025 via GOG, Ubisoft Connect, or the fossilized jewel case you've been using as a coaster. And the intro cinematic still slaps. Robo-galleons eclipse a dreamscape moon, while teensies babble in adorable gibberish. 10 minutes later, you're helicopter gliding through glowing marshes to a Daniel Masson score that toggles between Celtic flute and pulsing techno, wondering why modern games so rarely marry whimsy to razor-sharp controls. Sure, the camera occasionally behaves like a caffeinated carousel, and yes, a handful of lums hide in devilish cul-de-sacs devised by level designers who clearly never heard of OSHA guidelines, but polish away every quirk and you'd sand off its soul. Final verdict, 25 years on, 9 out of 10. Call it the creme brulee of 3D platformers. Sugary on top, complex beneath, and still cracking just right when tapped with modern hardware. Here's to Rayman, the limbless wonder. May his fists float forever, his lums stay luminescent, and his helicopter hair never tangle in the rotor wash of lesser mascots. Great escape indeed.